He lives there, Allah blessed him with money, so he makes a waqf. Waqf is a business, is a house, whatever. And he said the benefit of this waqf is to take care of the students who are going to come from the state studying. Okay? Yeah, he wants to pay back for the community that took care of him when he was here. So he's going to dedicate that waqf to benefit the students who are going to come from the US to study in Medina and then go back. Okay? Is it possible to know exactly who are the students coming from the US to study in Medina or not? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The students who are going to go, they're going to go to a university. Okay? Someone will say the students who are going to study in Jami'at al-Medina, for example. Okay? Of course, you can know. So if it's possible to know them, all of them, then you have to distribute al-waqf equally between them. Okay? Unless he specifies. So since one of us was living in Florida, he's going to say the 6 or there's X number of, there's specific number of students from the US and from Europe and all that. They get accepted anyway there. So he said, let's say 6 people. So he said the 6 people, this is waqf for the 6 students who are going to come from the US. So if he says like that, then it's distributed equally. But let's say he's from Florida, he loves the people in Florida, the Muslims in Florida, and he said, this is for the students, the 6 students who are going to come from the US, and if one of them is from Florida, then he gets double of the rest. So each one gets a share and he gets 2 shares. Can he do that? He can? Why not?
He can.
Okay. Alright? So the point is, unless he specify who gets more, then automatically the default is it's equal between all of them. That's if he can limit them, he can count them, he can know them person by person. وإن لم يمكن حصرهم جاز تفضيل بعضهم على بعض وتخصيص واحد منهم به. Now if he cannot limit all of them, then he has the right, or it's permissible to prefer some over others. Even it's permissible to give one out of the whole. But what's an example? No, don't get stuck with the same example. The students. Now in general, another pledge, another waqf. So this waqf, the person says, the benefit of this waqf for al-hujjaj, for the people who are going to make hajj. You cannot take the waqf and distribute it equally between everyone. It's impossible. You got 2-3 million people. So it's permissible, to pick, 3, 4, 5, 10, 100 poor people, they look poor, and you go and you give them. That will suffice for the rest. It's even permissible to pick one and give him on behalf of the rest. Right? Or someone pledge whatever for a disastrous Muslim area. The Muslims, for example, in Pakistan, they're hit by an earthquake, and he said, I pledge the benefit of this investment for the brothers there. No one says you have to go and take that pledge and distribute it equally between each person who's affected by the earthquake. It's impossible. Alright? So it's sufficient that you give it to a town, you give it to a family, you give it to a group, even if you give it to one person, and you usually look at the benefit. Okay. If someone, the last point is, which as I mentioned last time, if the waqf is after the death, then it's treated as wasiyyah. right? يعني in other words, يعني inshallah all of us are healthy here, and one of us has $1 million. So he said, I'm gonna buy a masjid for $1 million and it's waqf. Can he do that? Yes? It's not only 1/3? Right. So as long as you're healthy and you're not sick and you're sickness, you can give everything you have as waqf. You can give everything as sadaqah. You can give everything as gift. But if you are dying, or you say, this is a waqf after my death, then it will be treated as wasiyyah, as a will. And the will in Islam, first of all, you cannot leave a will for waratha, for people who automatically inherit you. You cannot leave them in the will. And in other words, you cannot say, my son gets the building in Tallahassee, for example. Why? Because his son will automatically inherit. So you cannot prefer, now you are changing the division of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how He divided that. So anyone who can inherit cannot be in the will, in the sense like that. Okay? Now someone who does not inherit, for example, my cousin will not inherit. I have kids who are going to block my cousin, but my cousin is poor, so I can say $5,000 go to my cousin. That's fine. As long as whatever I say will go to so and so does not exceed the 1/3 of what I'm leaving behind. So if the waqf is more than 1/3, the waqf that will be treated as wasiyyah, as a will, that while I'm dying or after my death to take effect, if, for example, someone dying and he said, this house is waqf for my kids, okay, 2 years. My daughter, my sons, their mother. When it's time to divide, he died. While he was dying, he said that. So, is that will or not? That's treated as will, wasiyyah. So, we're going to look at the house. Is the house 1/3 of his, what he's leaving behind, or less? If it's 1/3 or less, then it's waqf. If it's more than 1/3, the waqf? Huh?
No, it's not.
Why?
He was buying.
Okay. But in this situation, and this really will be understood when we talk about the laws of inheritance and all that. In this situation, since the father, the mother, the boys and the girls are the only people who are going to inherit him, then they have the right to decide. You understand? Because they are the people very much affected. There is no another person who might object. Since he said this house will be my kids to live in with their mother, and let's say his father inherits, he can inherit, and he lives somewhere else, he said, but I cannot benefit from this house, so I object. If he objects, then we're going to value the house. Is it 1/3 or more or less? And then, based on that we decide. But if all the people who are going to inherit, going to benefit from this, and they agree, then we can leave it the way it is. You understand? Okay. So if the kids, brothers, sisters and mother, the mother says, no, I want my money and I'm leaving. Alright? I'm gonna move, I'm gonna get married and move out, but I need. So then we say, if the house is worth more than 1/3, then we're gonna say it does not qualify to be waqf. But if all the people who are gonna inherit approves it, then there is no harm. Because the point of no more than 1/3 to protect the rights of the heirs. But if they all agree, then there is no harm, inshallah. So we stop here and we continue next time. قولوا قولي هذا